Warriors owner Joe Lacob has been fined $50,000 for violating anti-tampering rule regarding comments on 76ers Ben Simmons. Apparently he was supposed to be off the record when he said that, anyway. Oh well. Oh man, the reporter who initially reported that must be sweating RN. The dude can't cover the fine, or, if somehow in a few years Ben Simmons has sorted out all his issues and actually would be a good player to have, make Ben somehow forget Lacob once said this about him. Ors. The anti-Simmons circle jerk is officially out of hand if he's not even considered good anymore. While I'm with you on the sentiment, they did say good player to have, and I think there's a difference between the two. Getting fined for saying a player is too shit to play at the end of games is hilarious. This is like the opposite of when Magic got fined for saying Giannis was going to lead the Bucks to a championship. This really happened? The Los Angeles Lakers on Tuesday were fined $50,000 by the NBA for another violation of the league's anti-tampering rule after team president Magic Johnson recently praised Milwaukee Bucks star Giannis Antetokounmpo. Johnson recently praised Antetokounmpo's play in an ESPN interview, saying he'd someday lead the Bucks to a championship. A source told ESPN that the fine Tuesday was for the comments made in that interview. Oh yeah, Johnson told ESPN when asked whether he saw parallels between Antetokounmpo's play and his. With his ball handling skills and his passing ability. He plays above the rim, I never could do that. But in his understanding of the game, his basketball IQ, his creativity of shots for his teammates, that's where we have the same thing. Can bring it down, make a pass, make a play. I'm just happy he's starting in the All-Star game because he deserves that. And he's going to be like an MVP, a champion. This dude, he's going to put Milwaukee on the map. And I think he's going to bring them a championship one day. Man, that is effed up. Contrary to what the memes would have you believe, this is the one and only time Magic was ever fined for tampering. What exactly was he tampering with? It's baffling to me that someone would be fined for something they believe, especially if that is praise. I mean, did he tamper with NBA's destiny or some shit? Yes, he was team president, yes, he was in an ESPN interview, but does that mean he can't give an honest opinion on a matter that is not even related to trade of any sort? Some random tweet that cracked me up. The person who originally tweeted will technically owe the NBA tree fitty for tampering. So the NBA is secretly the damn Loch Ness Monster. About that time I noticed this Adam Silver was about 8 stories tall and a crustacean from the Proterozoic era. Like bro, that wasn't the first thing you noticed? Man lost 50 racks saying no lamo. Still a better trade than actually acquiring Ben Simmons. Very fair point. Obviously hilarious. But before anyone gets upset, Magic got fined for saying he thought Giannis would bring the Bucks to a championship. The rule has to be a blanket no talking at all one if they are going to have it. It's weird for people in basketball to not be allowed to talk about individual players not on their team. What Lacob said could potentially lower Simmons' trade value, but what else would count as tampering? Would wishing someone a happy birthday be okay, or is anything tampering? Not sure if this is a joke, but Daryl Morey literally got fined for tampering for tweeting happy birthday to Harden like a year ago. It wasn't happy birthday. It was for a tweet on the anniversary of Harden setting the Rockets' franchise assist record. Morey says it was an automated tweet. Wow, dude got fined for an automated tweet stating a fact. That's absurd. Why is it tampering if you say you're not interested in a player? Because it diminishes his trade value. Bingo. Could be used as a tactic to lower another player's value before a trade. Breaks tampering rule. So players and execs can leak stuff to the media with no consequence, but if they do an interview and vaguely state their position they get fined. Tampering rule's a joke. It's all optics. Joe Lacob RN. How you gonna get fined on your day off? But he didn't say his name? /S. Light years ahead, rolling eyes face, man facepalming. LMFAO. If I was an owner and someone asked me thoughts on X player, I'd be like, bitch, I have 0 thoughts unless you have 50k. Now you got me thinking this statement was actually worth more than 50k for the Warriors to make. A small price to pay to stop these rumors. Turns out the GM is on the same page as the fans when it comes to giving up good players for one who doesn't fit at all. I guess it's pretty easy to answer the question, would you give up assets to get worse? If $50,000 to LeBron is equal to $5 for an average American, is $50,000 for Lacob equal to 5 cents? Relatively speaking, he's not that much wealthier than LeBron. Forbes estimates LeBron is worth $850 million and Joe Lacob is worth $1.2 billion. That's a $350 mil difference lol, that's still pretty big. Only 7,000 more $50,000 fines. No biggie. He probably spends more on dinner tonight. Plenty money. Imagine being forced to pay $50K for saying that a player is not good for your team lol. Imagine getting fined for saying you don't want a player. Light years ahead. Streets ahead. If you don't get fined, you're streets behind. Honestly, if I'm Joe, I say worth to stopping all Ben Simmons media talks around the Warriors. Useless distraction. That's a good point. If it makes it so that's not the default question at Media Day next week, totally worth it. I'd rather pay $50,000 for saying Ben Simmons is shite than pay $177,243,360 for Ben Simmons. Fining a billionaire $50,000 is hilarious to me. That would be like fining me 50 cents. Joe Lacob to Adam Silver, I am gonna pay you $100,000 to fuck off. This whole Ben Simmons saga has been a net negative for all parties involved. The dude is toxic/s. I'm not even sure why this is satirical. I think it's meant to be sarcastical. Y'all can suck my dick from behind, thanks. LOL. Honestly, it can be viewed as a slight to Maury and Philly more than anything. Tampering? Yes. Not of the usual, we want you tampering, but the one that disparages a player for whatever tactic. His whole statement was centered around one critical piece, and, can he finish games? I don't know. Got a team exec publicly questioning him like Doc did Lamau. Lamau, how is it tampering to say, nah, we're not gonna go after him? How is that tampering to say that he doesn't want the guy? Question mark bro, this league is fucking dumb. They do nothing to stop the obvious ass tampering, but they fine an owner for saying a player is skid marks. This man got fined for saying he wasn't interested in Simmons. This is so fucking stupid lol. It makes sense though. While yes, Ben Simmons' value isn't good, it doesn't help the Sixers if an owner is saying all that about a player on an opposing team and tanking their value more. I don't buy that at all. No GM is going, yeah, I was all over this guy, but if Joe Lacob doesn't like him, I'll have to reconsider the very foundations of how I evaluate basketball talent. Nor does it matter that he publicly acknowledged the Warriors weren't trying to acquire Simmons, cause you know, other GMs can just call and ask privately. Yeah, but if another GM now knows they're definitely not competing with GSW, then they may know that they don't have to offer as much for him. If every GM in rumor said that, then it only tanks his value. Are you saying that if Lacob came out and said we're not looking to sign Simmons that it would also be tampering? I got the impression it was because he said he couldn't play in the fourth quarter. LM and he said he doesn't fit, not even that has great. It's crazy to think that amount is literally nothing to this guy. I agree with the fine. You can't just go around saying that as part of a team. It's like how executives can't just blatantly criticize other companies' stock. Dude was like, worth it. So as to avoid tampering. Guess not lol. Ah yes, fining the goddamn billionaire Joe Lacob $50K for comments that basically everyone agrees with about Ben Simmons is a great look NBA. Just some fucking galaxy brain shit right there. Oh no, the owner of a recently dynasty team has been fined $50,000. Side note, Maury should be fined for asking for future sons and daughters as trade assets in return for a guy who decided not to dunk on Trae Young. Second side note, defensive IQ and in-game leadership is also another massive problem in comparing Draymond to Simmons. $50K is nothing compared to what Ben Simmons is costing himself in future earnings by being afraid to shoot. Is he afraid of being picked on if he misses? He isn't afraid of being picked on for not taking them. He isn't a team player if he can't handle an air ball chant once in a while to keep a defense honest. What a talent. What a shame. Dang, he can't get a coffee today. Did he wink? I don't care how rich you are, giving up $50,000 because you said you didn't think someone was a fit on your NBA team would chap my ass a little bit. Amazing how my annual salary is just a matter of petty words to these folks. Income inequality is wild. Man, fuck the NBA, all they said is they don't want the guy. Why the fuck did he get fined? You talk positively about a player and you get fined, and if you say you don't want a player you get fined. They need to figure out how to actually enforce tampering rules in a way that makes sense or change how the rules work entirely. So fucking stupid. THST, half the free agents have deals done at 1,201 on the first day of FA and nothing happens, but a GM says he's not interested in an opposing player off the record and he gets fined for it. LM and he said he doesn't fit, not even that has great. He said Simmons doesn't fit with the Warriors. This isn't quite as funny as Magic being fined for saying Giannis is a good player, but it's still pretty funny. Isn't roasting the chump sort of anti-tampering in its own way? The media didn't like Lacob shitting all over their Simmons to Golden State narrative and rang up Silver with a quickness Lamau. The NBA rules about tampering are trash and everyone in the NBA should be ashamed of them. Wow, these tampering rules are kind of fucking stupid. Fine for telling the truth. Why didn't they fine Doc Rivers? His comment diminished Ben's trade value way more. You're allowed to talk about your own player. Conditions apply. John Horst got fined for saying he'd offer Giannis a supermax. Fining the guy for saying he won't trade for Ben Simmons lol. This brings a new meaning to anti-tampering rules.